Hello everybody, Dr. Burks here again. So we're going to start with part one, doing the flame test. So if you've got your procedure out, you'll have all the steps that we're going to follow here. You'll notice that the first step is clean and dry everything, which you already have set up. Our second step here is to look at the data table and to record the colors that correspond to the wavelengths listed there. So if we flip over to that table, you'll notice this top line here says color. So you want to go through and look up the wavelength and what color corresponds to each of these wavelengths and write it down in the box across this line. And then as we go through and look at the different salts during the rest of this video, you'll then just put an X next to, say, we do calcium first, you'll put an X underneath what color it is. That way you can match up the color with each of the salts that we're going to be doing. All right, so I've gotten everything set up here. So I've got a watch glass with all of our 5 different salts that we're going to be doing, and I've got a watch glass of hydrochloric acid on it as well. And then I've got our little wire that we're going to dip into the salt, and then we'll hold it into the flame and observe the color of the flame of each salt. And I've also got us a Bunsen burner like we've used in previous videos, so that way we have a flame that we can set our salts on fire. So I'm going to go ahead and light up the Bunsen burner here. All right, so now we've got our Bunsen burner going. So you'll notice it's kind of just a blue flame by itself. So when we observe the flames of our different salts, you should see that they have a color that is going to be visibly different than what our background or just our standard blue flame is here. So the first, I'm just going to do a wire dipped in our hydrochloric acid, since that's what we're going to have on our wire in all of these. So you'll notice it doesn't have a color for the flame. Our wire burns orange just because it heats up, but you notice the flame didn't change color, it stayed blue. So we're going to have a different color flame when we get through our different salts, or we should at least. All right, so we're going to do a first one here. So I'm just dipping a wire into the HCl and then dipping it into the salt here. And I don't want that whole thing in there. Come on. All right, so this is calcium. So I'm going to hold it to the flame, and you're going to want to write down onto that table what color this calcium is. All right, so you notice that flame, when it first flared up, right, it was a different color than the blue. Right, so record what that color of the flame was. So now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to do copper this time. So dip the wire into the HCl, dip it into a little bit of our copper salt. So we've just got the salt on here on the wire. I'm going to put it in the flame. You notice that's a different color than the blue flame. So record what the color of that copper was on your chart. So now we're going to do the next one, which is potassium. So this one's potassium. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the flame here. So record that color on your chart. All right, so we're going to redo the potassium one here. So you want to make sure that you're writing down the color of the flame and not the actual color of the wire. All right, and the fourth one, now we're going to be doing sodium. All right, so this one's sodium. That one's kind of fun. All right, so you wrote down the color for our sodium there. And then the last one, our fifth one here, this is going to be lithium. And so you want to write down the color of that flame there for lithium. All right, so that was all 5 of our salts, and they all had different colors, so make sure that you have that recorded into your data table, and go ahead and end this video, and we'll continue with part 1 in the next video.